Chapter 16 of Angel Food Time, Little Talks to Little Folks by Reverend Gerald T. Brennan. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. Chapter 16. A Home for Kip. George and Judy Slate had a dog, and the dog was their best friend. The children loved their dog, and they took very good care of him. They fed the dog, gave him baths, and put him to bed at night. You can see that George, Judy, and the dog were very good pals. Well, one day the children's mother told them that they would have to get rid of the dog. That was bad news. It was sad news, and the children were heartbroken. They begged their mother to let them keep the dog, but the mother wouldn't listen. The mother wouldn't change her mind. So the next morning little George and Judy left the house with their dog. Some time later George and Judy came home alone. I suppose you are wondering what happened to the dog. Well, the children tied the dog to the handle of the door at the city pound for animals, and they fastened a note to his collar. Here's what the note said. Dear Mr. Dog Catcher, we are two little children, and our mother won't let us keep our dog because it costs too much to feed him. The dog's name is Kip, and he is 1 year old. He walks by your side and obeys. He's friendly and doesn't bite. We love Kip and want to keep him, but we have to be brave. We brought Kip here ourselves. The dog cried and so did we. Please find a good home for Kip and we'll pray for you every night. George and Judy. When the dog catcher read the children's note, he didn't try to find a home for the dog. He knew that Kip belonged in one place and no other place. He knew that Kip should be with George and Judy. So do you know what the dog catcher did? You'll never guess. The dog catcher put Kip's picture in the paper. And that isn't all. Right under the dog's picture, the man put the children's letter. Then what happened? Well, thousands of people saw the dog's picture, and thousands of people read the children's letter. Some people smiled and soon forgot about the children and their dog. But a good many people wanted to do something. A good many people wanted to help George, Judy, and Kip, and they did help. What did the good people do? Why, they sent boxes and boxes of dog biscuits to George and Judy, and some people even sent money. They sent money so that the children could buy carrots, milk, and meat for their dog. The strangers wanted George and Judy to have their dog. They wanted Kip to be with his friends. Now, here's the best part of the story. When the children's mother saw the kindness of strangers, she changed her mind. And today, George and Judy Slate are the two happiest children in this great city. George and Judy are happy because once again they have Kip. That's the way every story should end. I think that George and Judy were paid back because they did what they were told. When their mother gave an order, the children obeyed. It was hard for those children to give up their best friend, but they obeyed their mother. And because they obeyed, the children were paid back. Many boys and girls find it hard to obey. When their parents or teachers give an order, they don't like it. Now your parents and teachers never give an order just to make it hard for you. They never give an order just to make you unhappy. Your parents and teachers usually have a very good reason for giving an order, and very often they are trying to keep you from harm. Of course, you don't understand that, and you pout and disobey. That's where you make a mistake, and that's where you sin. If you would only realize that your parents and teachers are working for your good, then you wouldn't disobey. Don't forget that your parents and teachers know a great deal more than you do. They know what is good for you, even though you don't understand. So when your parents or teachers ask you to do something, obey. What do you do when your parents and teachers ask you to help them? Do you obey? Well, I hope you do. After all, your parents and teachers work very hard for you. They are always trying to help you. They are always doing something for you. Shouldn't you, then, try to help them? Just think how hard your father works every day. Think of the many things your mother does every day. Think how hard your teacher works to help you. Do your parents or teachers ask you to work just as hard for them? I should say not. Your parents and teachers only ask you to help them. They only ask you to do little things. You may never be asked to give up your dog, but when your parents or teachers ask you to do something, obey, and obey right away. That's the way to please God. Then, in pleasing God, you will be sure to please your parents and teachers. God bless you, and take good care of yourself. End of chapter 16.